Excellent.
Brother,
Are you nice?
I'm good.
I'm good. No, they asked us to check because there's alcohol here. We just need to check your ID and make sure so we don't get in trouble.
I'm good. I'm 20. You can check my ID.
Look at this.
Most of you are thinking right now, oh my word, I've been married longer than this kid. What the heck does he know? But I'm very excited to be here with you guys today. It's an honor. And thank you to the IMC. I really believe that in order to move this country forward, in order to move the industry forward, we have to move away from a competitive mindset to one of collaboration. So today I'm going to be talking to you about how do we challenge ourselves to start thinking like Gen Z so that our portfolio of companies and brands can start better selling to the customer of the future. So quickly, by show of hands, without exposing your age, who has a child that was born after 1997? I'm sorry to hear that. My parents tell me how challenging it is every day. And then secondly, by show of hands, has anyone ever created a customer profile of their children? Good, that's a bit weird for those who raise their hands. But that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to share with you, because I believe that you guys know your businesses better than anyone. And so I'm going to give you the insight into how I think. I'm going to take you on a journey of how I see the world, why I see it in a certain way, and how you can influence your children and your clients and your employees. So still today in boardrooms, I get questions, Marko, why does Gen Z matter? Well, by 2030, 42% of the global youth is going to be young Africans. Young Africans make up over 60% of current African population. That's amazing. $480 billion of spending power globally. And the graph is only exponential. So we know that they're here now. They're not coming. The biggest thing I get when I say, Marko, okay, how do I want to reach Gen Z? I can't get their freaking attention. I can't get my child's attention. They're obsessed with their phone. They're obsessed with their friends. All they do is come after school and go to their rooms, and I never ever see them unless they want my money. Yes. Second thing is technology. They're digital natives, and we'll go more into who they are. But they are so technology orientated. They are obsessed with their cell phone. The average Gen Z spends 7 hours a day just on their phone. What can you do with the rest of the day if you're only spending 7 hours on your phone and 5 hours on social media? Some of us are as bad with work, but Gen Z, they literally rely, and we're going to talk about why has that happened. So I always ask when I sit in boardrooms with exco and executives, and I say, who is Gen Z? And most people can't answer. They don't have a clear understanding. Timeline-wise, they were born from 1997 to 2010. There's obviously debate regarding that, but what's more important is what we call generational defining moments. And these are moments that occur during Gen Z's lifespan that have shaped the way we think. And so firstly, for me, it's the internet. 1998 and 1983 were two amazing events happened. One, first internet cables. Two, first smartphones. And in 2007, Apple launched their first smartphone. And that changed, historically, the way I see the world, access. Like the fact that I just came back from Greece and I was visiting my grandfather, and I told him I'm going to be on stage, I'm going to be speaking to you guys. And he's like, what about? What knowledge do you have? Why are they going to listen to you? Why should they care? And I said to him, I've been marketing since 2015 on Instagram. I've started a podcast with over 150 guests. Like the world and accessibility and the cost. I can be in South Africa and have clients globally. That's never before been done like that. And again, shaped the way. 2008 crash shaped financially the way my parents spent money, the way I see my own budgeting, the way I see income. South Africa, it's even worse with 30% unemployment and interest rates and inflation. And then COVID-19. I realized that my family is the most important thing to me. And all the success and all the businesses, they're going to come and go. But my family and work-life balance and sustainability and climate change, those are real. And it's only COVID that slowed down that paradigm that forced me to think like that. So how the heck do you contact me? Well, first, If you've ever tried to email Gen Z, they don't respond. The only way to contact them is to say, I've WhatsApped you and I've emailed you. You have to tell them you've emailed them. Secondly, video over everything. I promise you, me and Mike Sharman did not overlay slides, but I've got Barbie in my slide, and yes, you have to be creating 80% video and 20% image and text. I can't remember any post of image and text. Luxury and travel, most of my budgeting is going towards travel. I'm wanting experiences over a nice vehicle, over a nice luxury good. But yet luxury in the last 12 months, Gen Z are the 3 times fastest growing consumer group compared to any other generation. And then lastly, automations. I expect it to work. If I go into a meeting and you're not sure what you're doing, or if I go to a website and it takes 10 seconds to load, and the checkout is not functional and takes long, doesn't matter how loyal I am from a customer point of view, I will move on. And so thinking about things like, do from a start to finish of your product and service, how long does it take? Because instant gratification is so deeply embedded into me that I won't wait for anything. That's why the IMC is great. 15-minute slots, 20-minute slots, 30-minute slots. I don't have the attention span. Housing. 27% of Gen Z still live with their parents. And it's just escalating. I speak to more and more parents. They say, my kids are coming back to me, Marko. They're coming back. And why this has happened is because they've realized how difficult it is to live by yourself. Then side hustles, a big culture of income. We are constantly, doesn't matter, you can ask any Gen Z, they're working on something on the side. So you need to think about how do you guys incorporate that as leverage. And then something what I'm constantly thinking about, and I'm guilty of this, is social comparison theory. This states that I make decisions not solely on my own opinion and what I believe, but because of you guys. I make decisions. Whatever decision I make, I'm thinking about my friends, my colleagues, and my families. So instead of targeting individuals, we need to start targeting communities. Because if you influence the community, you influence the Gen Z individuals. But if you're targeting outliers, I'm not going to buy your product or service because I'm not willing to stand out. I'm not willing to be different. 10,000 marketing messages every single day. That's how much I'm receiving. So why should I care? Well, you've got 8 seconds to get my attention. That's my full focus, 8 seconds. Look at your hook. Look at your thumbnail. Look at your video of content. If you don't know what I'm saying, we've got a serious problem. Because you're focusing on these big ad campaigns and these big marketing budgets and marketing reports instead of the content. So social media is everything to me. I look at where am I going to travel, where I'm going to buy, where I'm going to a restaurant, where I'm going on dinner. In fact, my generation have never had to actually go to a girl at a restaurant and say, hi, my name's Marko, and have a conversation. No, we can be on Tinder, swipe right, I'm a stud. We don't know hardship, we don't know challenge, we don't know loyalty. And social media, such a dopamine, if you watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix, you'll know. They are programming Gen Z in a way that is scary, and I think that companies need to really look at their social media strategy in a deeper way, and we're going to go into it quickly. So quickly, TikTok, I'm 150% more likely if you're creating once a day good content to purchase a product or service. I'm 350% more likely to visit your physical store, and I'm 40% more likely to go to your brand's website. Most corporations, you go to their TikTok page, it's the least of their concerns. It's the down priority. You go to the boardroom meeting, why are we creating content on TikTok? So I quickly created a SWOT analysis for you guys to take a picture on. Go and do an analysis of your guys' content. Use these questions and go and do an analysis. So you can quickly just take a photo. And then, sorry guys, 8 seconds. Okay. All right, and then 11 times the ROI than traditional advertising, influencers and virtual influencers, which are CGI-generated content creators that you've got full control over, because I know most brands have had a bad experience with influencers, but yet they play such a key role in influencing Gen Z. And again, really look at your guys' strategy. How are you using influencers? Are you even? I spoke about this. They've got a 3 times more growing in terms of consumer with luxury goods. What do we analyze when we're looking at a product or service before we buy? Number 1, immediately go to their website. 2, we go to their social media pages. 3, we go to their Google reviews. You'll be shocked at 5-star hotels who've got 2.5 reviews. And as soon as I go to that, I move on to the next product or service. I move on to the next hotel. And then news. We are looking at the news. So make sure your brand, if you're going through trouble from a corporate point of view and a PR point of view, make sure you're sorting that out. These 2 famous people, very famous with Gen Z, my sister who's 8 years old, constantly telling me, Marko, when are you getting me tickets to Taylor Swift? Sorry, it's 10,000 Rand, it's 20,000 Rand. They've built such personas that no matter what product or service they market, Gen Z love it. And then Elon Musk, they are willing to slave away at X because of Elon Musk. They are willing to buy his products and services no matter what he says or do or crazy things he does, because why? They've bought into the narrative. So as executives and people of influence, make sure you're building a personal brand, because we are no longer going to be buying into Standard Bank or ABSA or Netbank. We are buying into personas. So many people have told me, I don't work for Discovery Bank, I work for Adrian Gore. I don't work for MTN, I work for Ralph Maputa. And so make sure, even in your circle of influence, that you're building a personal brand. I always get asked, Marko, what are some good companies, what are some good campaigns that have done well? One of them is by Levi's, Buy Better, Wear Longer, which what they did was they allowed buyers to buy secondhand clothes, sell secondhand clothes, and then they had tailored machines in the shops so that you could reuse your product, your things that you were buying, or tailor it to your needs. So go check out that campaign. And then funny enough, Barbie. Over $1 billion in gross in 3 weekends. What else do they do? 7 million posts on social media across their campaign. 277 million actionable engagements from their campaign. You guys can go do a deep analysis on Barbie, but they're one of the companies and brands that have done it well. Likewise, in South Africa context, Mike Shomon showed those examples. Again, if you look at those videos, it's all personal brands. It's all people. It's no one's looking at the Castle Lager or looking at Omar's. They're looking at that frame and they're saying, I'm buying into the story. And so thinking about that, and Blockbuster. I remember going to the video store about 5 years ago. Probably went once or twice and never again. And many of you grew up with videotapes. And what happened? They were too focused on being right. And what happens when you're trying to be right is you don't adapt. And you say, oh, my child's only dancing on TikTok. Why must I be on TikTok? Many of you that are sitting in this room don't have all those social media platforms downloaded on your phone. But yet you are creating strategy for them. But how can you know the nuances of each platform? How can you know the trends? So there's something that a lot of companies are doing, which are Gen Z boards and Gen Z reverse mentors. They're getting Gen Z people to give feedback because they don't know what the hell's going on. And so what I'm going to employ a lot of you to do is, number 1, stop trying to be right. And 2, is that we are grossly underrating social media organic creative in this country. So much of our budget is going to these big pad campaigns. So much of our budget is going to a marketing report that's not even accurate. It's been the agency has given you some numbers out of thin air. And yet, we're willing to spend millions on that campaign, but not on organic social media creative. And when you do it right, it can create more sales, more influence, more power than any other mechanism. So if you take one thing from this, stop trying to be right. 2, go and look at your organic strategy. That's all I got.